Here are this morning's speaker at Texas Association of Fire Educators Conference 2019, Mr. Brad French. He's from Dayton, Ohio. He today talked a lot about company officer type stuff, and our overriding theme this year of TAFE has been professional development and the need for fire departments and instructors to start looking at the individual and deciding what's best for this individual's career. So the thing that you kind of talked about today was how the company officer actually plays a role in this, and I think most company officers don't realize that it's my job as an officer to help this young individual find his path forward. So kind of describe what a company officer can do to help this individual.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things that the company officer can do in that role. And number one is to set a good example, right? To be one that's doing professional development, that's reading trade magazines and going to conferences and taking classes online and things like that, doing things to better themselves, looking at formal education, associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and things like that, to where that company officer is not just saying do this, but they're doing that and kind of showing them, lighting the way for what that path to professional development looks like. And also for them to very specifically, encourage them. Hey, what are you doing next? I tell my firefighters all the time, you need to have a plan for what's next. What's next for you? Well, I want to be a driver operator, or I want to study for lieutenant, or I want to finish up my associate's degree, whatever, right? But if you ask any of your firefighters, hey, what's next for you in your career path, and they just no idea, well, then you've got some mentoring to do.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things about professional development I've seen in the fire service, a lot of times we achieve a certification level, and it's like, hey, I'm good. I just sit back and I write it out. So is professional development something that's ongoing throughout your career, or is there never a pinnacle where you're just done?
If you ever get to a point where you feel like you're good, it's time for cruise control, and just hang it up, right? Because not only is that not true and not safe, but you're going to start to immediately have a negative impact on your crew. You're going to immediately start to have a negative impact on those that are constantly watching you. They're looking to see, what's my lieutenant doing? What's my captain doing? Is he stagnant? Is she stagnant? Or are they moving forward and constantly trying to move that ball of professional development down the field for their whole career? And if you find yourself in that stagnant spot, you need to find out why. Ask yourself why, and are you still doing the Department of Service or not?
Yeah, so in your experience as a company officer, you hear a lot of times mentioned in line of duty deaths or injuries, it seemed like there was a lot of complacency that took place. Do you see any correlation between professional development training and complacency, and can they offset each other?
Well, when it comes to certain firefighter line of duty deaths, we talked about some of those in class today. There's always going to be times in which bad things happen on the fire ground. It's a very dangerous, very dynamic field. But the more we can do to study those previous incidents, that helps constantly fight against that feeling of complacency, because we're constantly evaluating these incidents, finding out what happened. And so in our own mind as company officers, we're realizing that there's a constant, the bar is constantly raised for how much we need to know, because as long as firefighters are dying on fire grounds and things like that, obviously we know that a lot of the line of duty deaths are cardiac related, vehicle accident related, and things like that. But as long as firefighters are dying on the fire ground in any capacity, we need to continue to study that. And every time a new incident happens, we've got more to learn.
Right. Man, awesome presentation. Thank you so much for coming
Absolutely.
here and visiting with us.
Absolutely.
As you can see, we've got incredible presentations. We still got 2 more days of the conference left. If you can't make it this year, help us out. Follow us on Facebook, share our messages, share these videos and posts if you like them. Also, check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and just help us spread the message about TAFE.